Welcome everybody, this is John and Glenn with BestPriceNutrition.com. Remember, you can also catch us on Facebook.com/BestPriceNutrition. Today we're going to talk about the Hcg Platinum, and we're also going to cover the Hcg diet, which has been out there. You know, this product has become popular recently. You know, I mean, really it's the next fad kind of thing going. First we should start off, you want to give a little background exactly what Hcg, human chorionic gonadotropin, is?
Yeah, essentially it's produced by pregnant women while they're pregnant, obviously. And it's found in their urine. What it does is it actually causes the female to produce progesterone, which actually improves the fetus, brings more blood vessels to the, what am I looking for? It sustains the growing of the fetus. I'm sorry.
It can have a protective effect
so it
on
protects
the fetus. It's actually how you use a pregnancy test. The ELISA test is actually testing for how much Hcg is in the urine, right?
Exactly. So,
and then in men,
in men, it actually increases the production of testosterone in the testes. It's very popular for people after like a steroid cycle to take Hcg because it does help with increasing testosterone production.
It gets the testes, the actual, to drop, because I think it acts on Leydig cells, right?
Exactly. It actually can increase the size of the testes and get them to drop, and increases the Leydig cells, causing your body to create more testosterone. There is a downside of that also, because if you take too much of it after a cycle, it can actually shut down your production.
Yeah, I think you usually want to do it for a short window, 3 weeks. I mean, we're not here to make those recommendations, but that's mainly the use in the bodybuilding community. You'll hear of it. I think it was Manny Ramirez last year was caught, and he was that's a fertility drug, and the media was a little slow to pick up on the fact that those in the bodybuilding community know what it's used for, and it's in fact a PCT.
PCT for
steroids. Post-cycle therapy. All right, well, so we covered that. So kind of what happened with this is there was a British endocrinologist, Albert T. Simmons, who started using the ultra low-calorie diet to go along with it, where you would eat less than 500 calories. That part of it we'll cover because that's obvious. Yeah. But his reasoning was that what would happen with HCG is that it would program the hypothalamus to help reduce body fat but preserve muscle tissue to protect the fetus.
Yeah,
right?
almost favoring body fat and preserving muscle mass, favoring body fat as a fuel source or energy source.
So that was the thought. The problem is, and I think Kevin Trudeau has kind of picked up on that too, that the empirical evidence just isn't there to prove that that's the case in terms of studies. And I know we talked about this. Anybody who eats 500 calories, I mean,
you're going to lose weight.
Yeah, I don't know who wouldn't. That's extraordinarily low. And now there's some doctors you're actually seeing that are working one-on-one now. These diet guru doctors. Well, we'd all be diet gurus if we told everybody to eat 500 calories and miraculously to lose weight. Of course, you're going to lose weight. You could sit around your house and burn 500 calories. So. It's not healthy.
No, not at all. 500 calorie diet, when you think about your needs every day, are you going to be able to get enough protein? You're going to be able to get enough carbs, enough fats to support your cellular energy, your life. Yeah, exactly. So, and essentially when you're starving yourself, your body is going to favor using muscle mass.
Well, and the theory too is that along with the ultra low calorie diet, the doctors obviously realize that that's bad. Well, then they say the HCG is going to do its magic and protect the body because it would cause you to protect the fetus, and there's just no evidence of that. It's ridiculous. I mean, really, the truth is, as with any of this, is you've got to eat right and you've got to exercise. You've got to eat less than you burn if you want to lose weight, and you have to exercise. And when you exercise and train intensely, you're going to burn more calories. Just don't replace all those calories with more if you're trying to lose weight.
I think oftentimes people have a good workout, and after that they almost reward themselves with a big meal, and you're taking in too many calories, and you just burned off all those calories. You don't want to put too many back.
Relative to what else you're doing within your day.
Exactly.
I mean, sometimes a big meal's okay if you didn't eat much leading up or whatever, but that's a different discussion for a different day. But that's a good point. If you take your activity level up here, and your calories were here, but you bring your calories equivalent to your activity level, then you're just gonna you're on the treadmill, so to speak. So it's no good. Now, specifically with supplements, I mean, I guess you can kind of glean our opinion based on that. The problem with these as well is that the amount of HCG in here, well, first of all, it's illegal to...
Well, it is actually, it's a homeopathic, so so that's how it becomes legal. It's homeopathic. When I don't really know the ins and outs of homeopathy really well, but I do know that by diluting it,
that's
30 times or so, It's such a trace amount, if any. A lot of times these are tested and there's no HCG.
What I meant is they have to dilute it to make it legal.
Yes, exactly. They have to dilute it to make it legal, because otherwise you can't just come into a store or order from us actual HCG in a pharmaceutical dose, because it is a pharmaceutical drug.
Yeah, so I mean, we're starting to see, and we hear from people, who say my doctor is telling me to do this, and far be it for us to say anything if your doctor tells you, but that's ridiculous to tell somebody to eat 500. I mean, I tell a 4-year-old to eat 500 calories. So that's really, and that's what it boils down to with the supplement. I mean, you could put a hot star on the front of it and say, hey, we're going to sell it, but it just goes back to the magic pill theory, and this is really what gives the industry sometimes a bad name, are these overnight fantasies, and it's just not the case. Now, there are supplements that are extremely effective, that work really well, but none of them are magic. You have to take care of yourself. You have to eat right, and you have to exercise. And you can also splurge in moderation. I mean, this doesn't mean you have to turn into some machine, because then you're going to meet the other side of the spectrum, where you're going to meet people who say, well, I've got to do everything perfect, I've got to write down what I'm eating. You don't have to do that either. It depends what your goals are.
Exactly. And like John was saying, anybody eating 500 calories a day, of course you're going to lose weight, but it's not a healthy way to go.
And that can be dangerous too.
Yeah,
so
dangerous.
Especially if you're somebody who's exercising like crazy and you're only getting in 500 calories, your stress hormones are going to go through the roof. Your immune system is going to
You're going to
suffer.
be producing a lot of cortisol, which is a stress hormone.
And at some point, you're going to lose muscle, because I don't care what HCG does, especially the diluted version. It's not going to be, and it hasn't been shown to be effective enough to stop your body from catabolizing all the muscles. So.
Oh, exactly. I mean, you're going to be burning and tapping into muscle stores. Your body has a process called gluconeogenesis, which is just converting proteins into carbs. Your body's going to do that to restore your glycogen stores.
And you actually give yourself energy, because your body doesn't, your body works very intuitively. It doesn't think, oh, big biceps, I need those. No, your body thinks I need energy. So in order to have big biceps, or if you want to be lean, you have nice muscular physique, you have to take care of the needs of your body. Being healthy there's no loss on that connection between being healthy and being able to build muscle. The more muscle you have, and this goes for women too, the more fat you will burn. You're not going to turn to He-Man by taking some protein powder or multivitamin essential fats. You're not. You'll get a leaner look, and that's going to help you burn more fat, because muscle cells next to eye cells have the most mitochondria. So, and that means that they require more energy just by being on your body.
Yeah, the more muscle mass you carry, the higher your metabolism.
Yeah, so you can sit around and burn more calories. That's really the way to do it. And the thing is it really doesn't take that long either. You can see extreme changes in 12 weeks. I mean, in fact, less than that, because it doesn't just happen, from 0 to 12. But there's a lot of you can do to your physique by following the proper diet and working out well. So I hope we dispelled some myths and rumors. We kind of come out strong against supplements like this, because again, we're in the industry, so we don't. This is the kind of thing that gets the industry made fun of.
Exactly.
And rightfully so for stuff like this, but then it causes people to dismiss, valid research and good products, and the idea that if you take care of yourself, the old ounce of prevention is, better than a pound of cure, and that's really what good supplements and vitamins and good diet and exercise habits can do for you. But this stuff sometimes overshadows it and ruins it. So if you guys have any questions, again, you can post them on our Facebook, facebook.com/BestPriceNutrition. You can put them in the comments section of the video or on our blog. So feel free to ask, and we'll be happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you.